Hey everybody, this is Coach Desmond for another edition of Getting Coached with Coach Desmond. What you see is typically what you're going to feel. Everybody, I want to go ahead and put together this here because there's something as an observation I've made. Some of you guys have seen it as well. That there's something about when the people that we admire, and also particularly individuals who have an inordinate amount of talent in any one area. I don't care if it's real estate, whether it's modeling, whether it's weightlifting, or what have you. You can always tell, and again, it's evident. Okay, it's evident in what they do. They obviously have spent a lot of time focusing and mastering their craft. I want to go ahead and do a little bit of a deep dive in the situation because matter of fact, before that happened, what happened before? What the number one thing that happened was they were looking at it. What do we mean by that? They were intently looking at that thing. And they, for a lot of people, whether they have that vision for what they're going to become, it wasn't just a whimsical, boy, it sure would be nice if I was so. You would have individuals who saw themselves as that thing and they kept intently looking at it. And typically what ended up happening, the more they kept looking at it, a couple things started happening. Their understanding began to grow. They began to go ahead and see it in different ways. Their fear of it went from here down to no fear at all, because the more they kept looking at it, the higher their understanding came of it. Another thing you start noticing that when you're really intently looking at something that you desire to master, that you really desire to possess, eventually you start seeing yourself in it. I remember when I bought our home that I'm in right now, I saw this. Matter of fact, living here in Los Angeles. And I saw this gated community, eco-friendly. Matter of fact, like I said, I'm kind of an armchair environmentalist, so I just really enjoy any of those types of things that show the efficiency of energy and all those type of things. I just absolutely loved it. And this was in 2010. Okay. Now we were not ready or could afford to go ahead and move into a home. But after, my wife and I had been looking back and forth with no success, and I saw this and I said, my gosh, this is my house. And immediately I brought her and I helped her to catch the vision. This is our house. But it didn't stop there. I got the brochure. I kept looking at this house and I kept looking at all different areas. And the more I kept looking at it, the more I kept seeing myself in it. I would literally be driving. And now, mind you, I lived literally 30 minutes away. But I would intentionally drive to this development as it's still being constructed. And even from the freeway, I will look at the exit and say, this is my exit. This is where I'm going to be. And then I would drive through the community and say, there's my post office. That's where, this is where we're going to shop. I kept seeing and kept looking, and I would make this drive several times before we actually moved in. In fact, I knew the place so often, people were asking me questions and directions to certain places on that development. I saw myself in it. And now what that did was, because I saw myself, it became a foregone conclusion that this is going to happen. And not only that, but it created a domino effect. You see, the more I kept looking at going on division on that, the more my motivation grew. Motivation to do what? Motivation to get the financing, motivation to understanding how buying our first-time home buyer programs. I was all in. I was now even motivated on the job that I was working on because now what ended up happening, my efforts to making more money on the job would contribute to me getting a down payment to get this house. Everything began to just simply pop. And the motivation began to grow. Listen, some of you right now are struggling with the idea of, my gosh, I just don't feel motivated. Guys, listen, I want to encourage you right now, and I get a 90-day challenge for every one of you out there who is able to hear me. I want you to go ahead and take a look at that thing that you want. But instead of it just simply being a whimsical, boy, it should be nice. If you're really serious about this, I want you to go ahead and take a look at that thing, and I want you to look at it intently. Look at it from every angle on that, because you typically not only feel what you see, but you also end up manifesting that. And also because it's all that's going on here. Listen, when I hear stories about Kobe Bryant on that, he saw himself in the NBA even in grade school. And it began to go ahead and map out everything that he was doing. I'm going to the NBA. I'm going pro. I'm going to the NBA. And then, of course, obviously, we know the answer to that question. And not only was that, he became a 5-time NBA champion, et cetera, et cetera. And it was, of course, the rest is history. The point is, guys, like I said, for a lot of you right now who are struggling, I want to encourage you right now. I want you to start making it a practice to look intently. Think intentionally about what it is that you want. Look at it intently. Start to feel it. Start to see yourself in it. See the giants of doubt and unbelief begin to shrink on that as you now take a look at this, take ownership. And if you start doing that, you're going to find yourself now manifesting the very thing you want. Now, listen, guys, when I say manifesting, let's not get Pollyanna here as first thing. There's no such thing as poof, pop goes the weasel, none of that. But we're talking about in terms of manifesting the motivation, which now leads to the actions, the corresponding action, if you will. And then because of the actions taken, you now start seeing the reality that you desire. Hey, everybody, this has been Coach Desmond. Was that helpful? I hope it was. If you like what you heard here today, hey, don't be selfish. Pay this forward. Share this with one or two other friends of yours who know can use a little bit of motivation and probably been struggling to find out how can I get that. It starts off by you seeing and manifesting that thing. All right, sounds great. Okay, guys, this has been Coach Desmond on that. I'm looking forward to go ahead and work with you guys. As always, I'm always famous for saying, listen, amateurs get stuck, but professionals, they're getting coached. And I'm hoping sometime to go ahead and coach you soon. If you're interested in that, go ahead and just go ahead and put that in the comments. Looking forward to work with you. And for those of you out there who want to go ahead and find out more about Coach Desmond, just simply go to CoachDesmond.com. Okay, guys, until next time, you take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.